What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series. So today I woke up, this is Sunday morning. I woke up, took my son to work. I checked out Discord real quick, and then I saw that somebody posted some dairy pictures, which I thought would be a great visual to a follow-up from what I was talking about yesterday. So everything that I was explaining yesterday, I'm going to throw a couple of their orders up, and then I'm actually went through and searched my computer, and I pulled off a couple of dairy orders that I had, juice orders that I saved on my computer. So we're going to look at those, and hopefully giving you a visual from yesterday is going to help those people that posted those orders that we talked about yesterday. So let's get right to it. All right, guys. So there was a few things on here that I still disagree with, but for 99% of the order, I agree with, and I just wanted to give a visual for it. So first of all, see how all of our cases are facing upright, and see how we're not forcing anything the whole way up the pallet. So if something doesn't fit, don't force it, put it on the next layer or whatever. Another thing I want you to take note all the way around. These cases, we have them in our warehouse as well. They're all higher cases, and it's the way the warehouse is slotted. It would be nice to have all these cases slotted one after another, but sometimes that's not how it is. So it looks like these cases are slotted sporadic throughout the warehouse. But every time they get this case, they know this is a corner case. I need to stick this case on the corner because it's a higher case. So when I put this case on top of it, I get that slight lean inwards. So, but once again, guys, you know, we're not exactly probably following the block that comes off, but just a great looking juice pallet. And this is the way it should be slotted. Boxes and then all these clear wraps at the top. All right, this one right here, there's two things on here I disagree with. One, it looks like we have a liquid up on end, and it looked like we did that just to try to be pretty and get this nice clean cut up on the top of the pallet. If it is a liquid, I 1000% disagree with it. Down here, and sometimes I do this too, sometimes I'm just in the rhythm of throwing, but honestly, if I would have threw this Florida Naturals down and it was leaning into a gap like that low on the pallet, I would have took the half a second just to take this Almond Breeze and separate it. And just like I said yesterday, guys, you have a gap this big and you separate the case, you're gonna have two gaps this big, and it's just gonna alleviate the stress on having a bigger gap. So you're just making the cases stronger just by separating them a little bit. One thing I just noticed, we do have a lip going on back here. You are hanging off the pallet a little bit, and we didn't need to do that. And you probably did it because if you would have took this Florida and scooted it up, you would have had two cases hanging in the gap. Just separate the Almond Breeze, separate the Florida juices too. I would have separated them as well. And I'm just now noticing the lip, and it looks like we didn't even need that lip. So watch the lip, watch the upright juices, and watch the gap. All right, guys, so once again, not exactly how I would do it, and I'm going to show you on my orders next, but still a solid looking pallet, and I'm going to tell you why. So basically, these juices come in a 15 block, and when you run 6 down the sides, it's slight, but I don't like it. And we don't have an exact side view of this, but you still get a little rock out because these cases lip off the pallet whenever you 15 block them. Now they come on a 15 block, 1 in and 3 like this, like you were stacking your cases yesterday on the order. I want to explain something. I remember going over this before. Pretend this is a pallet, pretend this is a case. I want to see how I want to do this. All right. When we put a case on, all right, so this is the case, this direction, and we're hanging off the pallet. See how much case is on the pallet? So you're not going to get a flex in the case. You're not going to get a rock. When you turn the case this way, doing the 3 that run this way, the 3 block that runs this way, like they ship it in, well, you're getting more of that case hanging off the pallet. So you're going to get a flex with that case because there's less case on the pallet. When you turn it this way, you have a majority of the case on the pallet. When you turn it this way, you're getting more case hanging off the pallet, and you're going to get a flex, and that's what gives you that rock coming out. So I like doing what they did here, but I only run 5 down the side. All right, so if I were going to get, I don't run 6 down the side. I run 5 down the side, and I space them out. Or I'll run, what do I do? 2 in like this, 2 in. So I'll run 3, and then I'll space it out, and I'll run my back 4. I'll space out 4 in the back, running inwards. Guys, I don't care if I got gaps like this through my pallet, through every case. I would rather have a gap like this through every case on my base than have cases lipped out as a base, because when you're getting a heavy order like this, and we column stack the first 2 layers, which is on this side of the pallet, which is not, it's okay, but you're going to start getting that rock. And whoever stacked this order, if it was Ricky P or not, let me know if you notice that. When you run 6, do you still lip off and do you still get a slight flex out? Now, I'm real picky how I stack. I want my pallet perfectly square. I don't like any lips if I can help it. And running 5 down the side spaced out is going to, I'm telling you. So what I do, guys, let me explain some more. I run 5 down the side, and then when I get past this layer, layer number 2, I will start closing everything in nice and tight. But I don't mind. I talk about the house on stilts all the time. I don't mind spacing out my gap. All right, we're looking at the back and see how we're lipped out, and that's. I don't know why we're doing that, because we got gaps through the pallet. So just watch your lipping out over. But once again, I'm critiquing here big time, because your pallet is beautiful looking. You're doing a really nice job. Now, the one downfall I do want to say to these black plastic pallets right here is, for some stupid reason, they have a lip on them. All right, they do have a slight lip going around the whole entire perimeter of the pallet. So if you were to set a pallet or case directly, like hang it off of it, it sort of like pushes up the case. So that's why I just revert to wood. I don't even like using these ones as well because of that lip. Like I said, guys, I'm very particular on how I build, and here I am critiquing a pallet that looks beautiful. It's just how I am. I'm not downing this person at all, but great looking pallet, but just I'm very particular how I build. All right, guys, so these last 3 orders are mine. All right, so right here, what did I just say? Sometimes I wish I would space out cases more. The reason why I didn't space this one out is because I wanted my Almond Joy to be, or Almond Breeze rather, to be on it. And I got enough going here where it's not too bad. So a little bit bigger of a gap. If I would have centered that Florida's Natural just a little bit, I would have had a smaller gap. I just got done saying that. Sometimes I don't do it perfectly. But see, guys, how I don't force anything. So I could see 100 million people going a silk back and a silk next to it, but then it's going to hang off. It's going to lip off the case, just like I was saying with my little demonstration. I like keeping things nice and square. I don't mind having gaps in my palette. Once again, right here, guys, what do you see? Exactly what I was saying. I will do this through my whole entire base. I would rather have these small gaps than shoving cases on a pallet that's not going to fit, and I'm going to be lipped out. Look how even I got a little bit of wood exposed right there. That just proves that I would rather be within the confines of that pallet than hanging over the pallet. Because when you hang over the pallet, especially on the bottom, you get the flex going out. And as you can see, I am perfectly nice and square. Look right here, guys. All right, I got 2 facing back. I got 1 in, and I go back this direction, and then I come back again. I try to tie in corners when I can. Try to keep things as tight in as possible. But once again, I just don't mind having gaps in my base. This is the last pallet I want to show. Now we're a little bit more solid down here because we got these bigger cases, so I was able to fill in the front. I wish I would have took pictures of the back of this as well. Maybe I did at one time and I deleted it. But once again, guys, I mean, we're uneven here, and I just play around with cases until I get level again. Oh, here's the crafts. All right, so I just said on the crafts yesterday, don't turn them upright, don't turn them on their sides, unless you're at the top of the pallet. If you're at the top of the pallet, you're not putting any pressure on them, nothing's gonna hurt. And what Ricky P, if that was him, what he just did with the juice to make it look pretty, I did with this. So that's the only reason why these are up on end. So I got the same thing as you, is like I'm trying to get a straight line going across, because it's just that you want to be a perfectionist, but I would never do it with juice. I'll do it with cheese boxes. And guys, as you can see on my dry orders that I throw all the time, anytime I get a light crushable case, I always think the front of my pallet. That's where I always stick that stuff. So I just want to show you a couple follow-ups to yesterday. So guys, remember, cases upright, especially liquids. If it don't fit, don't force it. You don't have to follow the block. Stay within the confines. And if you are going to hang a case off the pallet, remember, you want most of that case to be on the pallet. You don't want to do it like this because you get a flex going out. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you this makes sense. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.